Sound, our D&D stream. I think this is our fourth or fifth one. Um, and we have some returning players. We have some new players. We will do a round of introductions and talk about ourselves a little bit, and then we'll get started. Um, we have people tuning in from Twitch, from YouTube, from Facebook, and we're really excited. My name is Austin Coffey. I'm the production manager for Samurais of Sound and Strawberry Hill Studio, where I'm sitting tonight, and Scarlett is as well, our moderator here. And let's see, I've been working here for 3 or 4 years. I've been running Dungeons and Dragons for 5 or 6 years. And here at Samurai Sound, we do a little bit of voice acting, a little bit of, well, I should say Strawberry Hill Studio. We do some music composition. That's my background. Audio production, sound design, mixing, mastering, things like that. So that's kind of the my world. And let's see. How about Scarlett? Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Hello, I'm Scarlett. I'm not going to necessarily be participating in the D&D game itself, but I will be moderating the stream and things like that. I am an intern for Strawberry Hill Studio. I manage things like their social media and like marketing stuff. And I also I do some voice acting and singing and songwriting.
All right. Uh, Chris, how about you go next, and then you can choose after that.
Sure. My name's Chris Cito Joe. I'm an actor, voice actor. I'm mostly trained in theater, and I've been doing that for the past 5+ years. My D&D experience mostly just from podcasts, live streams, VODs, all that good stuff. So, Samurais of Koemin is my first campaign that I've that I've committed to. Um, yeah, I've played with them quite a few times. I've played in Gavin's game Refuge as well. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun with some new faces. Speaking of which, Gavin, let's go with you.
Oh,
Sure.
sorry, I'll add one more thing in. If you guys want to talk about where you're at with your voiceover, like in terms of any projects you guys are working on or interested in working on, and what kinds of things are happening in that realm, I think this is a really cool space for us to talk about the kind of projects that we've been working on. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a particular emphasis.
Sure. I guess I'll speak to one thing. For the past few weeks, I've been involved with it's kind of like an acting conservatory, but on Zoom. So we get together once a week. We rehearse a script, and I probably can't be specific about what, but in the next few weeks, we'll be live recording it, giving it to the engineer, and they'll be putting it out there on Spotify and elsewhere. So that'll be a lot of fun when that comes out.
That is amazing. You'll definitely have to share with us where we can listen to it when it comes out. I'm sure that we'd all
Yeah,
love to hear it.
absolutely. That's me, I guess. Let's.
Yeah, okay. I'll go next then. Um, I'm Gavin Kidder, based out of the Midwest. Primarily, I'm a musician. Um, you can kind of tell the way that my office is set up. But I'm also the second DM for Samurais of Sound. I run a game called Refuge, which we had a live stream for that, not this last week, but 2 weeks ago, and I'll have another one 2 weeks from now on Tuesday. And so, doing that, I've been playing D&D on and off for like 7 years, running for 5. and I also have a podcast where I do mostly science fiction uh, tabletop games. You can check that out most places where you can get podcasts. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and it's called Roll Warriors. So definitely look into that if
Mhm.
you're
Uh,
if you like what you hear tonight. Um,
Scarlett, if you could
if you
throw a
don't,
link to that in the restream chat, so it can go out to all the platforms, that'd be awesome. Roll Warriors, Gavin's podcast.
cool.
Sure.
And the my voice acting career hasn't quite taken off yet. I'm kind of still in the learning and gathering intel phase. I took a couple of Bloombox classes. I'm doing the Strawberry Hill Studios courses. So primarily, I'm using my voice for singing at the moment.
Very cool. We have, if any of you are watching and are interested in participating in the D&D stream, we are inviting any and all to come and join us, either in my campaign, the Samurais of Koemin, or Gavin's campaign, Refuge, are the two we have going at the moment. You can sign up for those. Scarlett can put a link in the chat for signing up for D&D streams. It's free if you have a membership, so I'd recommend picking up a membership and just hopping on one of our streams. We stream every Tuesday at 5:30, and every other Tuesday we play D&D. So come play with us. We would love to have you, and we'll have a link to do so soon. There's the Roll Warriors link is going out now, so that's great. Okay, next we have Danny. Hi.
What's up, guys? I'm Danny Martinez. Majority of my experiences in the bar and the restaurant industry. Been doing that for about 15 years. I am diving head first. When you talk about being new to voice acting stuff, like this is probably my first month diving head first, taking classes, doing the courses for Samurais of Sound, joining you guys as well. Kind of just trying to do it all and get a feel for it as much as possible. Been doing D&D for about 20-25 years, since about third, second edition, something like that. I forget. So yeah, it's good to get my feet wet on this too.
That is amazing. 20 plus years of D&D. Wow. That is so cool. Do you remember anything about your first campaign?
My first, yeah, I do actually. My best friend took me to one of those card shops, and they had a second floor full of just tables where people could sit down and do tabletop games. And my first character was a rogue. Can't remember the name anymore, but I just remember it was a rogue.
Wow. A lot more reading
You always
in those
remember
days.
your first.
Oh yeah.
We all have characters tonight, of course. We have a great turnout on the stream tonight. That's really good. Let's do a little round of introductions in character, perhaps. I know that Danny has an amazing character prepared, and the rest of us have some returning characters as well. For context, we are in the space of the main dojo in the Koemin dojo. It's in the city center, next to the palace or the castle, and the party has just finished. The party has just finished the initiation trials to become samurais, essentially. Some of the characters had already done that previously, but most of them were first time joining the Samurais of Koemin. And there was a little mishap during one of the trials and an attempted theft of an ancient artifact, as is the sort of thing that happens. And there is a quest a-brewing that one of our characters has actually shed some light upon recently in the chat campaign, which we also have running in parallel to this, which anyone can check out on our Discord server. And Scarlett can put a link to join our Discord server as well. But maybe we could start with Hakuro is Chris's character, who has been just explaining to us a little bit about the predicament that we are currently in.
Yes. Why don't I pull that up on my word processing thing? Hakuro. So Hakuro, you see a young man about 17 years old, standing at 5'8" with medium blue hair pulled into a ponytail and bangs partially obscuring his eyes. He's wearing what looks to be a martial arts uniform with a long sash tied around his shoulder and waist. On the back is an emblem that resembles a lotus flower nestled in a diamond shape. He carries a large knapsack and backpack. Around his waist is a belt carrying knives and a sling, and he has leather gauntlets on. And where'd it go? Yes. So in relation to the quest that was brought up, here it goes. One of our, I think her name was Aiko, had asked for information about a shrine that was like desecrated and had a band of Oni roaming around. And she wanted, she asked if anyone had any more information. So here it is. Hakuro's body stiffens and he clenches his fists. If malevolent Oni have been spotted there, it's likely whatever Roichi did had something to do with the voice of deception. At my temple, we were taught that Oni can be summoned by dark arts, so maybe Roichi came across that knowledge. Actually, I think there's a passage here that may help. He pulls from his side a very well-kept leather-bound book. On the cover is an imprint of the same symbol that's on his clothes, a lotus flower enclosed by a diamond. He flips through the pages and says, "Okay, here it is. The sentry climbed the mountain seeking the voice. Darkness could not deter him, for he remained righteous and strong. Shadows haunted his steps with smiling faces. Beware the offer of drink beneath the shade, for every smile hides fangs. Invitations in the woods are an ill omen." It goes on to describe how the sentry purposefully fell into an Oni ambush, only to turn the tables and wipe them out. But basically, we should be careful of anyone offering hospitality in the area, because they might be an Oni in disguise. And he kind of just looks around nervously at the other recruits and the other samurai there, just gauging reactions.
Thank you. Sorry, Chris. I was just adjusting my camera.
No.
I just realized there was a tiny hiccup with the visuals here. Perhaps Gavin's character can introduce and respond to that.
Sure. I can go ahead and do that. So Orochi is my character. He is a male dragonborn fighter. He's still fairly young, so he's about in his early 20s. You can sort of see that approaching on his face as copper dragonborns age. They start to oxidize a little bit, so there's flecks of green now kind of speckling his face, like spending too much time in the sun. And he stands rather tall and very like erect, maintains a good posture. His military and samurai training kind of instilled in him at the core of his being, and he will kind of like at the description and the statements made by Hakuro, will say, "Mm, how dare they threaten hospitality? It is one of the most pure tenets of the samurai way. I will cleave any who should dare threaten threaten to disrupt the peace of hospitality."
Tadashi, who is the second in command of the Samurais of Koemin and has been hosting the initiation trials, looks at you and he says, "Indeed, this is disturbing news. Anyone who would claim to be hospitable and yet turn on those who they're hosting is, well, not to be trifled with, and we should proceed carefully." And enter a new adventurer. Danny, can you tell us a little bit about your character?
Yes. So character's name is Kairos. He goes by Kai sometimes. He's about 5'8". Actually slouches a bit. It's quite an old man. So he's a bit hunchback, or not hunchback, but his posture is a little slouched. So he walks with a walking stick, long, supposed to be a white robe, but because of his journeys and everything, it's quite dirty now, so it's kind of grayish at the moment. And he's also got a satin sash around him, keeping everything together. That is also quite dirty, but still kind of like, I guess, shiny or glimmery, as you can say. He has some glasses, about rounded, and he's got some hair on the sides there, bald on the top, and a semi-long gray beard as well. Um, yeah, he spent some time in some well, spent quite a long time in some temples, and he's out for adventures now.
Okay, and he's an older man, and he is standing in the dojo today. Why? Maybe maybe he has a long history of adventuring as a samurai of Koimin, and he's one of the dignitaries maybe that's been sort of watching the proceedings. Does that sound about right? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So Tadashi says, "Well, we're going to need to get together a band of adventurers to go investigate. There are, of course, many of us who are qualified," and he's standing on the ground level, and the dignitaries are sitting on this balcony that's raised above, and he's scanning through the crowd, and he says, "Well, there's many of us who have fought many battles and gone on many adventures, but our attentions are mostly concerned with the conflict up north. One of a neighboring kingdom is a small conflict is quickly becoming like it might be. We might be on the brink of war. So there are other pressing matters to attend to, but we can send out a small band of perhaps some of our newer recruits to go attend to this matter at the Broken Shrine. I'm not sure what you'll find there. Apparently, there is a bed and breakfast of sorts around there. If Hakuro's lore is to be believed, which we have every reason to believe. But perhaps one of the delegates should accompany this band of adventurers, as they are new." And he sort of looks up through the balcony and scans through the crowd one more time, and he says, Danny, what's your character's name again? Kai?
Okay, yes.
Kai, if you would, please, I know you know the lay of the land, especially in the direction that we're going, better than most. Could you please come down and greet the adventurers, please?
Of course, of course. I'm here to help any way I can.
Okay, and as you descend the stairs, you see, like I said, Tadashi. Aiko is another character who's among them, and she comes up to you. She's a younger woman. She says, "Hi, I'm a medic with the Samurais of Koemin. I've heard all about your work, and I would like to accompany you on this adventure. I think that my medical services will be of great help Hopefully, we won't need them, but you never know. So, if you don't mind, I would like to come with you.
Yes, of course. I would take any help if possible.
Uh,
Hakuro's. Oh, sorry.
no, you can go first.
All right. Hakuro walks up to Kai as well, and he gives a very solemn 45-degree bow, and he says, um, "Kai-sama, I would also like to offer my services. You see, I come from a temple, um, from the Ashikaga Dominion that specialized in oni slaying, and well, I've been on a pilgrimage since, and I feel this is my calling in a way. I do have knowledge about oni, their practices, and how best to combat them. If you'll have me, sir, I would very much like to accompany you.
Well, this sounds more like destiny to me. You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
Orochi is going to like dart past Hakuro and like go down onto one knee, sword stabs into the ground, and he says, "Please, it is on my honor. A dragonborn has committed these atrocities. I will bring him to justice."
I look at him kind of confused and but kind of just taken aback by just like, oh, such strength in just his voice alone. What can you do for us here?
I will slay any and all in your path. I will cleave long swaths of blood with my sword. At your request, please.
I kind of just look at Hakuro, kind of looking for a bit of I guess advice or looking for a nod as to whether or not I should agree to it.
Hakuro looks to Orochi and says, what he says is true. I've seen him. We fought, well, on the same side, basically. But yes, his skills are incredible, and you will find no loyal. Sorry. He's one of the most loyal and stalwart warriors I've ever seen, and I would feel much more comfortable if he were there fighting alongside us.
Amazing. As I said before, it's destiny for us to meet this way.
Aiko says, "Well, looks like we got a team then." And then she kind of looks back at Tadashi, who's holding the. Say hi to Raj, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Raj is the.
Sorry, getting my tea. I see it.
For those of you who don't know, come on, don't be shy. Raj is the owner of Strawberry Hill Studio and Samurais of Sound.
Awesome.
Hey guys, nice to meet you.
And
Good to meet you.
yeah, we're just we're streaming. We got 33 people on the stream right now, which is the most we've ever had. I want to point that out.
I'm not sure if I should mention this, but we want to, of course, have more people join the stream. We'd like to hear from a lot more people. But do you guys have any suggestions or any advice you can give us to get like more people involved in the streams and more people onto our platform so that we can have better and bigger sort of D&D streams and games and all sorts of things? Any advice you can give us at all?
I don't know what the social media presence is so much on there.
Yeah.
I stumbled upon Samurais of Sound searching for like classes and courses for voice acting and stuff, but I haven't really looked or noticed that much of too much of a social media presence, like not just like advertisings, but actual like community interactions and things like that, and questions and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's great, honestly, with the Discord. You guys invite everyone, not just people who are members, so that way they can all join and watch too.
Well, we're growing daily. Like every day we have new people signing up, but we're just wondering what your personal feelings are. Like, how would you want to be communicated if you're interested in D&D and you wanted to join something? Like, where would you hear about us? Would it be on X, Would it be like, just through, I don't know, Instagram, or I don't know, where would people like yourselves be hanging out? Like, where do we go? Like other Discord servers and people
I
interested
mean,
in D&D? Hmm.
I love following a bunch of the D&D tubers,
Oh,
YouTubers.
okay. Okay.
So maybe some sort of connections with them.
Okay.
Matt Colville, um,
Mhm.
the Dungeon Dudes, um,
Oh.
just to name a couple. Jenny D.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
I
you're
think
saying,
along that,
I see. So the basically the D&D YouTubers, right? Are the people
Yeah,
that you
it's
guys?
a strong community.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So we're kind of maybe looking in the wrong place then.
Well,
I
we've
don't know.
started
Have we?
reaching out to some of the D&D influencers.
Mhm.
I don't know if we've reached out to. I think Matt Cole, like just like you said, those are great
Specific,
people.
yeah.
Those specific people would be great to reach out to. The YouTubers.
Mhm.
We have been slowly starting to do that. We'd like to get some people like that on the stream for sure.
Right.
The Matt
Yeah,
Colvilles
guest
and
DM.
the dungeon dudes of the world, or even just for a Q&A. But
Yeah.
yeah, getting them to run a game would be amazing.
Yeah.
But I think those kinds of collaborations
Yeah.
could boost the profile of what we're doing.
Is it the YouTuber D&D people more again more like more interesting for you than the like Instagram D&D people, or is that a stronger community than other? Is the strongest as opposed to Reddit or something like that? We're just kind of curious what you guys think. Like
I don't know. I
think
engage a lot with the YouTube.
YouTube, so
Yeah, I
YouTube.
think on YouTube,
Yeah.
YouTube lends itself to a lot of kind of what
Fantastic.
we're doing, a lot of live streams uploaded to YouTube.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
so I think, yeah,
What do you guys think of? I mean, we're not like big in because we try to grow organically, but we do run some ads. So we're just wondering, like, are the ads attractive? Is that another way that you find out about certain platforms and communities? Does that appeal to D&D folks in general? What do you think of that? If you see an ad on YouTube that says,
I
"Hey,
d-
come join our
I
community."
don't mind targeted ads,
Mhm.
especially through social media.
Okay.
I know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
hey, you're interested in these things
Yeah.
because of an algorithm.
Yeah.
Come here. But a lot of the times, it's how I find some of my favorite things. So
I find my music on Spotify that way. It's like, and I don't mind at all because it's like, okay, I love this artist, and then something else gets served up. So for me, it's not a problem. I know every community is different, but so you think YouTube ads are a fairly good way, set up a creative on YouTube and reach out to
Mhm.
people. D&D fans could be good. Because we're very specific. It's a lot of our people are voice actors, of course, and so we want to
Yeah.
reach out. So okay, that is actually fantastic advice, guys. Austin might ask you for a little questionnaire if you don't mind, just to give us some insight on what you like and what you don't like, and what you want to see on our platform, like what we can do to make it more enjoyable and keep you guys involved, and maybe some perks for you guys to invite friends, right? Some things that we can give you guys, some gifts to invite some friends to the platform. We're obviously trying to grow, but we want to do it the right way. So we'd love to hear from those of you who are already here. That really helps us to figure out the next steps to help things grow. And also, please request things. Just simply reach out to us and go, "Hey, I'd really love to see this voice actor." We can reach out to them, or we'd like to see this person, this maybe YouTuber or something. Just let us know. We're more than happy to try and get in touch with them. Okay.
cool.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right. Have a great game. I'll probably
Thank
drop in
you.
again. All right. Take care. Bye.
All right, and those of you who are tuning into the stream, I also wanted to mention that at any point, if you have ideas, suggestions for details about the adventure, anything you want to add in, we like to keep it really loose and with some elements of improvisation as well. So feel free to add your suggestions and help us out, of course. And with that said, let's see, where was I? Aiko is speaking, and she is really excited about the adventure, and she looks up at Tadashi, who's a head taller, and he has this sword in his belt, and she says, "Well, I suppose that we won't be taking the Kinkaze, will we?" And you'll recall that the Kenkaze is the sword that was trying to that the voice of deception followers were trying to steal from the Samurais of Koemin. It was originally on display as sort of like an artifact in the bar in the tavern from the first adventure, and it was stolen. They tried to steal it, and then it was brought to the dojo, and they tried to steal it again during the last initiation trial. And Tadashi looks back at Aiko and he says, "Well, you can rest assured it'll be safe with me. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon." And with that, I think that we mustn't delay much longer. And it's about the sun has just been coming up. The initiation trials have taken all night, and he says, "I recommend taking a short rest if you need it, and gathering your things together. If you want to stock up on provisions from our bustling marketplace, you're free to do so. And the way that I'll handle if you want to spend your gold is essentially anything in the basic rules or the player's handbook or any, dungeon master's guide. Any basic item is usually up for grabs. If you want it, you can look up its value in gold and just ask me, and we could do a little scene in a store or just retroactively say you have it. So that's kind of just one way to quickly expedite the acquisition of loot, essentially. So at any point in time, if you want to buy something, just let me know. But I assume that most of you have already taken your short rests anyway. And it could be a long rest if you want. We can start from scratch. And go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not. I just out of game. I'd like to get provisions as well. Yeah, if we're going by like stuff that's in our inventory. I think that's. Yeah, I think that's all I can think of. Just provisions, because we don't know how long we'll be out there, do we?
You can make a history check to see if you recall, the distance that you'll need to be traveling and what you might encounter along the way.
Okay, cool.
Orochi just wants a nice pair of traveling sandals. Some new kicks.
History check is a 16.
16. Okay. Let me review my notes here. So essentially, you recall that the journey to the Broken Shrine is fairly arduous. The city of Koimin is situated on a mountain, and so it would involve descending the well-trodden path down the mountain, and then at the base, it's in the north direction. At the north of the mountain, at the base, is a small forest that is fairly dense. You're maneuvering through the forest across a river, and then up another mountain. The shrine is on the adjacent mountain, and as you step out of the dojo, you can look across this valley. Let's say there's some low-hanging clouds that are sort of lightly obscuring the mountaintop, perhaps 15 miles as the crow flies north. And you can see this mountain, but you can't really make out many details at first glance. And the sun is just beginning to climb up in the sky. And as you look down before you, you can see the path that leads out of the inner samurai and religious district, the inner circle of the city, and through the first ring of walls towards the bustling marketplace.
Hakuto will look at his companions and He'll say, I think it'd be wise if we stock up on provisions um, and anything we think we need in order to um, camp out most nights. It looks like we'll be traveling through forest and um, scaling up the side of a mountain at least part way. Um, so for example, I could do with like maybe 5 rations. I think that'll be enough. I'm not sure about distance.
Yeah.
I could use a bedroll myself. I need to sleep a lot more comfortable now, so I definitely could go for a place.
Aiko says, well, shall we head to the market district then?
I think that sounds good.
As you descend down the path, it quickly becomes steep, and you encounter a set of stairs that lead quite some way towards through the streets, where you'll see a samurai here or there, brandishing their swords. Most of them were at the initiation trial, so the inner ring of the city at least is fairly quiet. You see some Kanushi samurai attending a shrine at a smaller place of worship, and you pass through the first ring of the city and into a bustling marketplace, apparently completely unaware of the goings on of the inner city. There are people shouting across stalls at each other, haggling prices and things like that. And you come across a general goods store that has some very comfortable bedrolls, and a shop owner walks up to Rai and says, Kai, right? Kai? He says,
Yes.
He kind of sees you eyeing the bedrolls. He says, well, what can I interest you in?
Something not too squishy, but not too firm either. Something we can take with us for our travels, and preferably
Goldilocks
something
bedroll.
the Goldilocks bedroll.
If I weren't mistaken, I would say, I mean, my father is very old, and he needs something a little bit extra, a little bit extra cushion at night. Uh, if I'm not mistaken of your age, might I suggest this fluffy, cushier one? It's a little bit more expensive, but it'll make sure you get just the right amount of comfort at night.
I kind of just stretch out my back, and it starts to crack a bit, and gonna reach for the bedroll and kind of unfurl it, try it out. It's like, yes, perfect.
That'll be a gold piece.
And I take it out very slowly, hand it to him.
Next, as we move along, there is a sandal vendor next door who sees Orochi approaching and kind of eyes you a little bit strangely. Dragonborn are not very common. The city is predominantly human, and he sees you walking up, and he's a bit unsure about what to do. He kind of looks at his inventory, kind of on the ground adjacent to the city street, and as if to kind of figure out what sandals. And then he sees you walking over, and he's like, "Oh, hi. How can I help you?"
Orochi's just gonna kind of look down at his feet and wiggle his toes, and he's wearing like just very jank sandals. There's like a broken thong, and he says, "Going for a long walk. Needs new shoes."
I see. Well, I must say I don't have many sandals suited for someone of your stature, but the sturdiest I have would be these handmade leather ones. And he kind of goes to the back and pulls them out, and there's really sturdy sandals that look like they might fit around your feet. You know, I assume your dragonborn feet are fairly broad, but he kind of holds them up to you. Says, 2 gold pieces?
Do you have anything with snakeskin?
Snakes? Oh, Like
Kind of a lucky charm for me.
impressed into the leather. Wow, that sounds fancy. Let me see. Roll investigation.
Ah, a dice roll.
Hakuto has a bit of a perplexed look when he hears that Orochi likes snakeskin. Just kind of like, aren't you wearing your own kind by doing that?
Oh wow, that's racist. It's a 6 on investigation.
What
He's
is it?
not a snake. He's just named after one. That's a 6.
Oh, you look through piles of sandals, and there's nothing that even has any sort of designs impressed into the leather. And the man says, "Well, the ones I gave you are really well made, and if you want if you want an inscription of some sort, or even a blessing, you could perhaps go to one of the shrines and have them blessed with a snake of some snake blessing, or a local craftsman could do this for you."
He's gonna toss the money to him and just go, "I'm already going to a shrine."
um,
I'd
and
also like to get just a fishing tackle set. I came from a fishing village,
mhm.
so his thought process is, and he will like voice this. It's just, my father always said, teach a man to fish, or dragon man in my case. The adage stays the same.
There is a fisherman's stall, a few stalls down, and they have ample fishing equipment. And the man says, "I'm glad to see that it's not just humans who rely on fishing. It's there's something to be said about catching your own food and spending time. There's a method to it, and I'm glad that the Dragonborn appreciate it as well. You can have my finest set of bait and tackle and fishing rods, whatever you need, for a gold piece."
Sounds like a plan.
Aiko looks to Hakuto and says, "Was there something you said that you wanted before we set out?"
Yeah, I would. I would have just gotten a bedroll and rations. Um, and I was also wondering, and he kind of leans in a little close to Aiko just to sort of whisper in her ear, "Do you know anywhere that sells sake?"
Well, why don't we? I think Blades and Brews is on the way out of the city. We could stop by and see if they've cleaned up after the mess last night, and I think they would probably give it to us on the house.
Hakuto goes a little pale at the mention of that tavern, but he says, "Okay, if you think that's best place, sure, we'll say hi."
As you continue further down the the marketplace road, you come to, after an hour or two of walking, you come to another wall and another door, and the guards let you through, and you're in a more residential area with some market activity, but with a little bit more of a residential focus. And as you continue walking on the right hand side, you see the familiar entrance of Blades and Brews, although devoid of its normal doorman. Goru, I think his name was. Or
Goro, yeah.
Goro, yeah. He's noticeably absent after many years of service to the tavern.
I should probably mention I've never drank before.
Oh no, I wouldn't expect
What?
someone of your stature. I'm mostly interested for me, and he gets a little nervous when he says that. But yeah, he just says I wouldn't expect someone of your standing to to partake in this kind of revelry.
Oh, I've never said I wouldn't. Just that I haven't.
Aiko kind of looks up at you reverently, and she's like, Minnie and my order strive for that level of self-control. I myself have never partaken either, and I don't plan to today. But I respect your. Is abstinence the word?
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean.
With all-
Orochi's gonna lean into Hakuro and be like, "Why did we bring these buzzkills?"
Well, I'm sure they have their standards and their skills, and he still looks very nervous with all this talk of abstinence and refraining from drink. And I guess he'll lead the way into the tavern just just to change the subject.
Right. And as you do, Akari is in the middle of a frantic cleanup. Although it seems like it's things are getting back to normal, but there's overturned tables here and there, and broken windows from the assault and near pillaging of the establishment. And there's a bit of blood here and there around the floor. She kind of looks up at you mid sweep of a broom, and she says, "Oh, welcome in. Here, have a seat." And she kind of quickly flips the table back and tucks a couple chairs under. Please sit.
Oh, we didn't intend to stay for very long. I wanted to ask if you had any bottles of sake, and then he does a full 90-degree bow to her, and he says, "I'm terribly sorry about what happened the other night. I don't know what came over me, and I hope that we didn't put you out too much. And I know it's incredibly rude to be asking more of you after what happened."
She stops. She says, "Hakuro, it's okay. It's okay. You saved us. Without you, who knows how many of my loyal customers would have been. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. No, you did the right. Look, I don't work for the samurais that closely. I don't care if someone goes to trial or doesn't go to trial. What you decided to do is your business alone, and I'm just thankful that you saved my customers, essentially." And then a couple of the more loyal ones who've been going every day are still sitting in the corner, and they're like, "Hey," and they raise a glass of sake, and she says, "Here, have a bottle." And she goes back to the bar and brings it back, and she sets it on the table where you guys are. She says, "Thank you. I'm indebted to you."
He looks relieved hearing that, and for the first time he looks a little he looks a little happy that things happened the way they did, and he says, "Thank you. How much do we owe you for this?"
It's on the house.
He takes it. He takes the bottle very reverently, and he says, "I promise, this will only be used for good-natured revelry."
To revelry. A couple in the corner raise another glass. And
Just raises it gingerly.
she says, "Well, what's next? Are you done with the initiation trials? Where are you headed?"
Well, it sounds like we'll be headed for the broken shrine to the north, right?
Hmm.
It was to the north. To the north. We've heard that Roichi may have done something there and unleashed some evil Oni.
I remember that Roichi. He was a student of Tadashi's some 30 years ago. Yeah, he was always kind of a shifty character. When he turned bad, I wasn't surprised. I was a student of Tadashi's around the same time, as a matter of fact, and I always kept my distance from him. Well, seems like you guys are finally gonna go root him out. See if any of it. He took some of his. I'm trying to remember some of my friends actually went with him when he left. I wonder if they're still there. And she kind of
Hakuto
just,
will, yeah, Hakuto says, do you remember him ever engaging in, say, dark magic or heretical, uh, forbidden rites or rituals at all?
well, towards the end, he started murmuring about how he'd established a connection with the voice of deception, who, of course, is an ancient evil, probably one of the oldest in our world. Um, and nothing good can come of that. Um, Suffice to say that everything he told us towards the end turned out to be lies, and those who believed them or um, maybe just saw the power in them decided to follow him. Um, as far as dark magic goes, I remember him attempting a few summonings, but he never quite managed to bring about any destruction from it. But he was interested in the Oni, I know that. So I would proceed with caution if you're planning on approaching the shrine.
How many of your friends do you remember going with him?
Well, two of them. Uh, their names were Yumi and Kenji. Yumi was a bit closer to Roichi. They were friends from an early age. Kenji, I think, was probably just doing it for Yumi's sake. They were always close. But they both left the service of the Samurais of Koemin, and they I never saw them again after that. Of course, that was 30 years ago. I don't expect that. Well, I should hope that they wisened up, but we haven't seen them since.
At the mention of the voice of deception and Oni, Hakuro kind of tightens his fists and his hair starts to like wave on its own, and he says in a not a deep voice, but a serious voice, "Don't worry, we'll do everything we can to rout out this evil, and if your friends are, well, still with him, we'll do our best to bring them back."
She kind of looks. She gazes at a little drawing on the wall near where the Kinkazi was mounted the day before, and she kind of looks back. It's a drawing of, just some like this koi pond with some Japanese characters, kind of almost like a waterfall coming down on the side of it. She says, Kenji made me that painting, and I hung it there right next to the sword. I look at it every day, and I wonder if he still paints. That would be nice. Find out for me.
You have our word.
And then she says, well, I'm very busy here. I'm going to continue cleaning up. Let me know if you ever need anything, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. And thank you for everything.
Aiko says, well, it's a long road ahead. Now that we're all stocked up, how about we get out of this city and proceed north?
Down a mountain, across a valley, and up a mountain.
Seems like the order.
Sounds exhausting.
So as you set out, the sun is just starting to come down. It's right overhead, just starting to come down, about midday. It is a hot day. The sun has cleared away some of those low-hanging clouds that were there in the morning. Turned out to be a nice clear day. And as you proceed further out of the city, you come to the last ring of walls. and the guards let you through. Noticing, they notice that they recognize Kai, and they say, on your way out, they say, heading out on samurai business?
Yes, of course, with my friends.
Be careful. We heard reports of some bears roaming the forest. They haven't attacked anyone, but they have been getting suspiciously close to some of the caravans who have been proceeding.
And no reason why?
Um, well, not that we can tell. They seem, from the reports at least, I haven't seen them myself, but they seem quite disturbed. Maybe their den got destroyed or something. I don't know. But be careful, because a few of the caravans have made a point to mention it to me.
Thanks for the warning.
And as you continue out through the last set of walls, you see the path continuing on for some time and descending downward. And you can see that the forest is approaching. You can see some trees kind of to your left and right, kind of filtering in. And before you know it, you are about halfway down the mountain. The slope evens out just a little bit, and you're in a thick forest. Following a river. As you keep walking, you can hear the sounds of the river getting closer and closer, and then the path becomes roughly parallel, and you see some caravans approaching, passing you on the left, and you come to a bridge, and the bridge. Actually, everyone make a history check on the bridge.
History check on the bridge.
Oof, I got a -1. 18.
That is a 17 for Hakuto.
And I got a 20 on the dice.
Nice. Well,
Feeling all historical.
Orochi, it occurs to you that this bridge is enchanted with a powerful spell that allows the first person who sets foot on the bridge must be the humblest of the party, or else bad things will happen.
I'm gonna say, wait. Who amongst us is the most humble?
Humble. I'm not sure how you would define that for other people.
I can't say that I'm humble. Then I wouldn't be humble.
That's true. Very, very wise, Kai-sama. Aiko, what do you make of this?
She says, well, my mom always told me that I was very humble, and I believe it. More humble than my siblings, in fact. I'm one of 7, but I always thought that I was the most. You know, my
So not you. To the back.
she's like about to take a step on the bridge, and she's like, oh, okay, all right.
Orochi, what exactly will happen if we get this wrong?
Bad magic stuff. I don't know.
Could I try and make a check to see, not knowing that information, what would happen if we got this wrong?
Yes, make an Arcana check.
Okay. 14.
14. Okay, so you're inspecting this bridge. The river, I should say, has grown fairly wide at this point. It's probably 50 feet across, and it's definitely fairly loud. And there's not quite white water, but it's a fast-moving river. And it looks to be quite deep. and as you're inspecting the construction, it's a stone bridge, and some of the rocks have little runes carved into them, and they seem to be humming very slightly. And you get the sense that if the person who steps foot on the bridge is not the humblest in the party, it will give way as you are halfway across it, sending you tumbling into the river. That's all that you can tell from the magic coming from the stones.
And would the bridge reconstruct itself, or would it stay down?
You can't seem to work that out.
Okay.
Baroshi's brain seems to be working on overload.
Hakuto will turn to everyone else and say, "Oh, it seems like these runes are rigged to basically dismantle the bridge if the humblest does not go first. By the time you reach halfway through the bridge, it'll basically collapse on you." Kai-sama, I'm really not sure what to do here, but out of deference for your experience, I think you should go first.
I think you've displayed the most humblest recently in your time at the Blades and Brews where we were having our drinks.
Hakuto will look a little taken aback. I mean, I was just doing what I was taught at my temple. I'm not sure if that counts as humble.
While you guys are deliberating this, Orochi has gotten his fishing set out. Are there fish in the river?
Make a survival check.
Okay.
Unless you just you're just wondering if there would be fish.
I mean, yeah, I'm wondering if I can see fish.
Oh, yeah, you can see. Actually, let's make a perception check then.
Okay. 4.
A 4. You're just gazing into the river, and it seems especially murky today. And you can't make out any shapes underneath the water. It is moving quite fast. It almost seems to be speeding up the longer you stand there, but that could just be your imagination. And you don't see any fish.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna cast a line anyway. Just I can't really tell for sure, but I'll just cast a line out and see if I can catch anything. Just while they're deliberating.
As you do so, you notice across the way that there are tall reeds, some 50 feet away on the other opposite bank of the river, that are sort of almost overgrown on the other side. It could be bamboo or reeds that seem to be very densely clumped around the other side. And you wait to catch a fish.
Yep.
Uno-san, I say we go together.
Oh, very well. If that is your wish, Kai-sama. And just one more thing about the bridge. Would you say it's you mentioned the opposite shore was like 50 feet away. Is that about the length of the bridge? Can we estimate?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Hakuro will stand next to Kai. Just give him a very skeptical, but just a nervous look, and he says, "Ready?"
Do I catch a fish?
All right, make a survival check.
Okay. I would like to cast catch fish. That's a 22.
It's a 22. Your
Yeah.
cast rod spell is successful.
I cast a rod.
And Orochi's going to carry this fish up to the front and go, "This fish is in my property," and throws it onto the bridge.
um, okay. The fish flops around 20 to 25 feet into the center of the bridge, and for a moment you can see that the stones underneath it are kind of glowing different colors, and as the fish kind of flops and then flops less and then dies, the glowing ceases and nothing happens.
Fish are humble. Yes.
Do me or Hakuro notice this at all?
Yeah, everyone sees it.
Okay.
I guess that was a good try.
Aiko says, well, the bridge held, and I saw some magic, so maybe that means the spell's over. We can cross.
Yes. I have solved your puzzle.
This man is a genius.
Yeah, that's a word for it. Kai-sama, would you like to cross with me as we originally planned?
Yes, of course.
As you take your first steps onto the bridge, you don't see any of the same light that seemed to have been glowing under the stones of the fish. And as you pass by it, the fish is very much dead. But it apparently was the humblest of us all.
Just on my way over, I'll just gingerly pick up the fish by its tail, and I'll look back at Orochi across the way, and I'll say, I guess it worked. It seems like you're safe to cross now.
Wow, excellent. And he's going to run up to Hakuro and take the fish. It's good eating. We'll save it for later.
Yeah, it'll make a good dinner. Yeah. And I guess we proceed across the bridge.
Okay. As you do so, Orochi, the reeds stand out to you that are kind of threatening to engulf some of the stones on the other side of the bridge, and they remind you of the reeds that you grew up around in your upbringing. Some memories come to mind.
Yes, my namesake, and he'll just get like a little tear, remembering Mama and Papa at home.
Aiko says, can you tell us more? What are you talking about?
What?
Aiko's just looking at you, like looking wistfully at these reeds, and she's like, why are you looking so wistful? Can you tell what's going on?
Is it allergies?
Oh, I believe Hakuro has heard my namesake and my story, but as we are walking along and have nothing but time on our hands, I suppose I can share. I was discovered in the reeds near a coastal fishing village as an infant. The old fisherman who found me said he mistook me for a serpent, ran to fetch a spear to kill me. The fisherman's wife came outside hearing the commotion and stayed her husband's hand as she could see I was not a serpent at all, but a baby copper dragonborn. Even though the couple did not have much to live off of themselves, they took me in as they had no children of their own, and gave me the name Orochi after the serpent that stalks the reeds. So, I just thought of home, I suppose.
I never knew that. That explains it. Well,
that's so sad.
As you continue down the road, the sun is setting, and it's getting darker. And there seems to be no end to the forest yet, so you'll need to make camp. So one of you, why don't you make a survival check to find a nice camp spot? Whoever has the highest.
I have a
Ooh.
+3.
I've
Yeah,
got
+2.
a +3 too. Orochi, would you like to take this one?
Sure. He's gonna specifically look for a spot with a nice rock that sits out in the sun.
Make a survival check.
I got a 14.
14. Okay. Yep. You find a nice big rock in a small clearing in the forest, some 150 feet off of the forest path. And it seems like a good spot to make camp.
I call the rock.
You can have it.
Yeah. As we're making camp, and as I guess we're lighting a. Are we lighting a fire? Are we kind of just camping out in the open?
Aiko finds a stick to roast some marshmallows.
Hakuto will turn to Kai and say, "So, Kai-sama, it's we heard Orochi's story. I'd be very interested to hear your story. You seem like you have just a wellspring of knowledge and experience that we could learn from. How did you become a samurai in the first place?"
Well, I took a chance leaving the temple. I was born in a small village hidden in the mountains called Kame. As a child, I was sent to the temple and was raised there. As I grew older in my years, I felt something inside of me, a yearning to explore the world beyond those sacred walls. While the temple offered wisdom and guidance and self defense, it was the unknown world outside that truly beckoned me. I wanted to see life in its raw form, to experience the joys and sorrow that lie beyond the confines of a monk's life. So I set out on my own, even at my age, and tried to experience the world in a whole new set of eyes.
It sounds very similar to my story.
Hmm.
I also came from a temple, but they worshipped an individual called the Sentry. He was a renowned Oni slayer, and I was raised in his ways. Um, we learned about him. We learned about Oni slaying. Basically, just trying to follow in his footsteps. A couple of the other acolytes and I, we came of age, and a tradition is acolytes of age are sent on a pilgrimage to visit the other holy sites, I guess you could say, of the century. Um, and while I am still on that journey, I guess similar to you, I also wanted to see the world, see life in its raw form, as you say. So I heard that Koemin was a land of samurai and noble warriors, and I thought, well, maybe I can put the skills I learned to use with them. And I've mostly just been traveling to smaller villages outside the walled city, just doing my best to um, be a good samurai.
Aiko is kind of leaning forward, engrossed in your story, and she's sort of forgotten about her marshmallows kind of hanging off the stick. And a few paces behind her, you hear a growl. And as you turn, you can see that there is a small-ish black bear probably 5 to 10 feet away from the marshmallow, or whatever the feudal Japanese version of that is. And
Pot sticker.
the pot sticker filled with sugar.
That would actually be mochi, I think. Mochi would be
The mochi.
marshmallow equivalent.
Yes, the mochi ball. It's a nice thick mochi ball hanging on a stick. And the bear is evidently fixated on it.
Orochi's gonna stand up on the rock, kind of at full height, and just kind of make himself big, like.
Make an intimidation check.
Could I use animal handling?
Absolutely.
Because I am skilled at that. Ooh, 21.
Ooh.
Dang, you've been rolling good. All right. The bear kind of looks up at you, looks back at its 3 or 4 cubs that are behind it, and decides that there are thicker and juicier mochi elsewhere in the woods, and sheepishly backs up and then kind of corrals its cubs, and then turns around and makes a scurry out deeper into the woods.
Right. Flee.
Kai looks kind of disappointed. She's like, oh, I wanted to make some friends.
Well, maybe we shouldn't get too close to those bears. I mean, we're lucky that one was pretty docile. I'd hate to see what happens if we come up against a more aggressive one.
Aiko's like freaking out. She's like, I know that seemed like a minor thing to you, but that thing was really close to my mochi, and it was a bear. So she kind of goes up to Orochi, and she's like, thank you. Here, this is for you. And she takes it off of the stick and sandwiches it between like some rice paper, I guess.
Rice cakes.
And I'm gonna I'll take a big bite out of it, and I'm just like, you're Hakuro. You're actually wrong about the bear. A mother protecting her cubs. Well, this is good. It's probably one of the most dangerous animals you could encounter out here.
She says, well, why don't we get some sleep, and I'll take, maybe I shouldn't take the first watch.
I can volunteer for first watch, if that's all right.
Kai's already passed out, snoring.
How's that bedroll?
Get sleepy in the afternoons.
Is there a comfort check in D&D?
I don't think so. Make a perception check for your first watch.
Okay. I do have dark vision, if that changes anything.
You can make it with advantage.
Oh, okay. Cool. Perception. There we go. With advantage, that is a 21.
Dang. All right. You after a few hours of vigilance, you don't notice any of the same growling or any signs of that would set you on alarm. And then you go over to whoever is next in the watch to wake them.
I guess I'll volunteer Orochi. I'll just shake his shoulder. It's your watch next. Nothing to report. No more mother bears or anything.
All right. Get some rest. I got this. He's gonna uncurl. He was kind of balled up on the top of this rock.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna take his watch, just kind of like perched like he was before on top of this rock, like sort of Captain Morgan style, 1 foot at the peak, just kind of looking around, bow drawn.
All right, make a perception check.
You said that I had inspiration.
Anyone who posted a voice chat gets inspiration. So that includes Hakuro and Orochi as well.
Excellent. I will be attempting that again. One better. 10.
Yeah.
From best you could tell, when Hakuro woke you up, it was about midnight, maybe shortly after. And you spend the rest of the night Captain Morganing on the rock, being super vigilant. And at a certain point, you think you hear some rustling in a bush, but it doesn't really amount to anything, and the sun comes up. It's another day, and you all break your fast with one of those rations that you either bought or have in your inventory. And Aiko says, all right, we've got a long road ahead of us through this forest and up that mountain, so we better get going. You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Giving my stretch and cracking my back yet again. Yeah, any more bears?
No, we seem to be pretty good in terms of bear sightings.
As you continue northward along the path, the forest remains rather dense, and the river gradually turns away from the road and sort of fades out of your hearing. And you continue, and it's a nice, clear day again. And you reach the site of it seems like this disturbed kind of like dwelling of sorts, a den, about 50 feet off of the road, just as the forest is kind of starting to thin out, and it's kind of, this den is underneath a few boulders that are sort of forming this little outcrop, and it seems like one of the boulders has kind of like collapsed and is like covering up part of the den.
Can we make a perception check from where we are, just to see if there's anything weird or off about the den?
Sure, yeah.
Soft 20.
Okay, you find a half-eaten corpse of a baby bear,
Oh.
and it looks kind of from the way that it's been kind of like ripped apart. It seems like rather vicious, to be honest. Uncharacteristic of, well, how a bear would die. Bears, to your knowledge, are the top predators in the area. So either it was killed by another bear or something, but something definitely ripped it apart.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything left of the bear?
Just its body and of the bear.
Is it just like randomly torn apart, or?
Yeah, it's just been ripped open, rather haphazardly. Yeah.
Hakura will relay that information to everyone else, and he'll say, "This looks vicious for a bear, and I don't know. Does anyone else know if there's like another beast in these woods, or if something else could have done this?"
We should be cautious if we're fighting something that, looking for something that might have no problem mauling another bear. But I'm thinking I won't let this go to waste. I might cut some meat off this.
Yeah. Make a survival check to harvest the meat.
Kind of take out my little throwing dart.
I will take a look into the den.
Aw, 6.
You can stay back.
You come away with a few strips of beef jerky, but nothing substantial. In the den, you see.
He's got his bow drawn. He's kind of crouched.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. The den does extend surprisingly deep underneath the boulders, even though half of it has been caved in. And make a perception check.
Okay. Can I also be sneaking?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to stealth check as well?
Let's just do perception.
Okay. Oh yeah, 21. 20 on the dice.
Okay. So as you sort of crouch into this den and your bow drawn and you kind of enter in, it goes back, some 20, 25 feet under the ground, and it's enough to get pretty dark. Do you have dark vision?
I do not.
That's okay. You could still make out
Something weird for a dragonborn, but what it is.
Yeah. You can make out in the shadows that there are these large footprints in the ground that go all the way to the back of the den and sort of get lost among, the what could have been a scuffle with one of the bears, perhaps. And then as you look closely, you can kind of see them trailing back out of the den.
I will call to the. Well, I guess I will return to the others, not call. I will return to the others and say, signs of a struggle and some strange footprints that go in and out.
The footprints are roughly they're actually bigger than yours. They're bigger than our dragonborns, but they're roughly humanoid shaped.
Hakuto, he'll ask Orochi. So these footprints, it looks like whatever this was fighting another bear. Is that right?
They just kind of look. There's a spot where there's like kind of a jumbled mess of them. No rhyme or reason.
Do we see Do we see those footprints going out of the den at all?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if this is a bear, then I would say we can leave it alone. But I have a bad feeling these footprints, they don't look natural. They're even bigger than your feet, Orochi. And I know bears are pretty big, but these don't look right.
Master Kai, is it our responsibility as samurais of the region to investigate dangerous situations and keep the citizenry safe?
I think not only the citizens, but also the wildlife, the animals, they must all be safe. I'll leave it up to you guys if you would like to hunt this creature, but I think it would be neglectful if we didn't.
I agree.
Okay. Do you guys want to make one of you can make a survival check to track the footprints?
I'll go ahead and make that.
30, 20.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, you good.
Oh no, that's fine. We can
Oh, we go with that one if you want.
Sure. I mean, I got soft 20, but yeah, that's fine. It's whatever.
Still works out.
Still works.
The footprints are rather sloppily laid down. These are big feet, and they don't seem to be making any effort to conceal themselves, and they're moving rather quickly. You can see that they converge with several other similar pairs further down the road in the direction you were heading, and then those you can determine there's maybe 4 sets converge onto the road, and then that's where the trail kind of stops because it's a fairly well-worn road. But by the time you get to where the trail converges, the forest is mostly thinned out and the grade has gotten rather steep again. You can see that there's been some cloud cover, and it's turned out to be a bit of a misty afternoon. And you're looking up the mountain where the broken shrine supposedly is at the summit.
Hakuto is looking at the mist and up at the mountain, and he kind of just whispers to himself, "This is something's wrong here. This feels like another bad omen." And he'll actually pull out his book again and start leafing through the pages.
You can make an Arcana check, or if this is related to some sort of class feature, I'm not sure.
Oh, no, that was mostly just flavor. But yeah, I can make an Arcana check, sure.
Or history.
Oh, that's a 7 for Arcana.
Boo. You used your inspiration yet?
No, but I think I'll hold on to it a little longer.
Okay. Well, as you flip through the pages of your book, nothing jumps out at you as being particularly helpful. And the sun is just beginning to dip in the sky. Aiko says, "Well, we better start now if we're going to make it up."
Yeah, Hakuto.
Onward.
Yeah.
All right. As you maneuver up the treacherous mountain pass, one of you please make a survival check.
I'll do it again. This time I'll do it.
Okay.
Oh, geez, bad rolls. 6.
6. Okay. Well, you climb for several hours, and you get to a spot where the path is definitely less well worn, and you're on this steep grade. To your right is this drop off, and to your left the mountain continues very sharply up to your left, and you misstep, and your feet slip, and you begin to slide down this extremely steep grade to your right.
I'd like to try to catch him.
All right, make a dexterity save.
That's a 19 plus 2, 21.
All right, you reach out a claw, and despite the oily fish guts that are on your hand, unless you've washed them, he manages to grab on.
Wouldn't want to slip there, old guy.
I lost my footing there for a second. And you smell like fish. But thank you.
I always smell like fish.
Well, safely back on the path, you proceed with caution. It is a very thin path, and it goes up and for a long time. And by the time the sun is beginning to set, you're all very tired. You have a level of exhaustion, all of you, and you reach this point where the path begins to widen. Just a bit, enough for you to go shoulder to shoulder, 2 by 2, and ahead you can see so you're still on the side of this mountain, but sort of ahead you can see this man-made structure. It appears to be entirely intact, but it's just this kind of lone. Not hut, like a little cottagey kind of structure, and it's about 200 to 250 feet ahead of you, where the terrain kind of levels out, and you'll be able to stand more comfortably without risk of falling. When you look to your right, you can see the forest many hundreds of feet below. And a mist is concealing the tops of the trees in places, and you can just hear the river, and The hut, there seems to be no signs of life coming from the hut, but you can see it about 250 feet ahead.
Hakuto will, when they all see the hut, Hakuto will stop everyone, and he says, "Do you all remember what I said in the dojo that we should be beware of false hospitality?"
Yes, they will. They will lie and deceive.
Yes. If if it's all right with you, I'd like to make the first approach. And his eyes start to faintly glow a little yellow.
I'll draw my bow and notch an arrow, kind of watch you go.
All right.
Hakuto, yeah, he'll approach, and just at just when he's about 60 feet away, he will call out, "Excuse me, is there anyone here willing to take in weary travelers?"
After a moment, the door opens up, and from 60 feet away, you can see a man emerge into the doorway. He is about in his upper middle age, and he's beginning to bald. He looks up at you and he says, "We don't get many travelers around here these days. Um, you you seem like you've had quite a rough passage. Please come in and find rest."
Thank you, sir. We're actually on our way to the Broken Shrine, and we've actually heard tale that a band of evil Oni have been roaming around. You haven't seen anything like that, have you?
Yes. We are constantly plagued with the Oni, at least the last few months. Every night, seems like another band goes down this pass into the forest.
Into the forest. Sorry.
Yes, into the forest, and well, I just try not to bother them. I stay in my quarters, and well, I tend to my modest. He has like the small little farming operation, and some livestock. I tend to my own, and I try to stay out of their way. I do have some spare rooms. If you look weary, if I'm not mistaken, please come in and have some drink.
Could I insight just real quick?
Yes, make an insight check.
Yeah, the footprints we saw followed the road, towards the mountain, right?
Yes, the same road you're on.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to make insight. Well, I think I'll use my reroll for that because that's just that's nothing. Same number? Are you kidding me? Ugh. Okay. I mean that's still a 5. So a total of 10. Okay. Total of 10.
Okay. Well, as you're watching him speak to you from the doorway, you notice that he is carrying a calligraphy pen in one hand, sort of holding it loosely by his side, and you see through the window of his hut that he has some art on his walls, and from the genuine manner of his speech, it seems like he's just a man who's trying to mind his own business and perhaps work on some of his hobbies.
Okay. Hakuto will turn around in motion for his for everyone else to follow him into the hut.
He quickly sets the table for you and gives you cups of water. And as you look at the walls, indeed they are lined with pieces of art of various mountains and koi ponds and reeds and things like that. And they're marked with similar Japanese characters flowing vertically across them, down them. And he's just giving you a pitcher of a carafe of water, and he sets it on the table. He says, "Like I said, we don't get many travelers around here, especially not the last few months. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy for your company. The nearest of my friends, he lives on the other side of the mountain, and we don't see each other much. So please, make yourself at home."
I'm curious. As I'm sitting on the chair, I'm looking around at these paintings. Do the paintings look somewhat familiar to the painting that we saw at the bar? In the same style or something?
Yes, yep. It looks like the same artist made them. You can tell from the brush strokes and the handwriting and the colors.
Sir, is your name Kenji by any chance?
Kind of looks at you and he's like, "Kenji, I haven't heard that name in a long time." Yes, my name was Kenji. These days I'm known as Daichi. At least that's what Rochi and his men named me when I was accepted into their ranks.
Your Kenji, who disappeared with Roichi. Are you still? Are you still in contact with him?
Well, a few weeks ago, he began acting very strange and talking about some sort of summoning that was about to happen. He kept rambling about these Oni, and I got nervous and I decided to leave. I came here with what little I had and decided that I would tell him I was keeping watch over the mountain as a sentry of sorts. So that's what I've been doing, and I haven't had much to report to him, but he said that if I was going to be leaving, that I would need to report anything I found directly to him. So that's what I've been doing, just waiting here, working on some of my pieces, and taking it easy. Evidently, whatever happened worked. There weren't Oni before, and now I pray that they just leave me alone each night. So far, it seems they have.
Are you at all aware of what happened in the castle town recently?
I've been quite out of touch with Koemin for many years. I fear I shall never return. Luckily, they usually don't venture this far north, but not a day goes by when I don't think of what might happen if Tadashi decided to send some of his men to come find me.
Hakuto will look to Orochi, Kai, and Aiko, and just kind of this wide-eyed look. It's like he just kind of silently saying, "Should we tell him?"
Orochi will speak up and say,
We spoke to Akari recently. She says she misses you.
Akari. You mean she's not still mad?
Mad was not the feeling I had.
She still has one of your paintings.
She keeps it next to the Kinkaze.
Next to the Oh. Do you think that she would accept me if I decided to return?
When he says that, I want to try to get an insight check. What I mentioned, the sword.
Okay. Roll insight.
That's a 14.
When you said Kinkaze, you could tell that his eyes widened suddenly, and that might tell you that he has some information on it. But his focus was definitely largely on what Akari, what he thinks Akari thinks of him. That totally overrode whatever he was thinking about the Kinkaze. So you can tell that he might have some more information, but he's not feeling strongly one way or another about it.
Yes, she wanted to know if you still painted, and well, we can tell her that you do.
Of course. I would be honored to give her some more of my work. Although I fear I will have to hand deliver it myself.
Well, we can take it to her.
All right, each of you make intelligence saves.
Oh,
Oh.
saves. Okay.
18.
13 for me.
Sorry, I was reading because you said it's ability checks that we have a disadvantage on because of exhaustion.
Oh,
Oh, that's right.
I am sorry. The disadvantage does apply here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had it applied on D&D Beyond, but it hasn't been like automatically rolling me with disadvantage. So
Yeah, I must admit I don't know if the rules say that disadvantage from exhaustion applies to saving throws, but I'm gonna say it does here.
Okay.
Should I just re-roll again in general, or just roll one more and take the lower?
Roll one more and take the lower.
I guess I'd roll a 1. So I roll a 0.
Oh no. I'm still at 13.
My first roll was an 18. My second roll was a 17.
Okay.
That's a +0.
So, Kai, you think it's a bit odd how he replied to Orochi, and you look down at your cup and you see that all the water has been drained by you, although it seems like your memory is having some trouble, and then a second later, you lose your consciousness and you fall onto the table. Your head slams onto the table. Hakuro, you have drained half of your cup, and you take another level of exhaustion.
Okay.
And Kenji continues. He says, well, you see, I can't let you return. I'm just too afraid what might happen if Roichi finds out.
Well, Kari's definitely not gonna forgive you for this one.
Yeah. Sorry.
He, you see him slightly shift. He's behind his, kitchen counter, and you see him slightly shift as if to pick something up behind the counter, and he sort of.
I drop my sword and rise. How's Aiko doing?
Aiko,
How's our healer?
our healer, who also has one level of exhaustion, takes another level as well. She's drinking half of her water.
Dang.
And a quick inspection of I'm sorry, I keep forgetting your character's name. Rai? Danny? Rai, right?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Kai.
Kai. I don't know why you keep saying Rai. Kai, quick inspection of Kai reveals that he's not too far out. Like something could potentially like probably wake him up if it were jarring enough. But he is pretty badly poisoned. And I think that is about all we have time for.
I'd like to say just real quick, when Hakuto saw Kai fall to the table, he would have gotten up along with Orochi, and his eyes and his hair start morphing to a more Oni shape. So that's that.
Yeah. That was pretty fun, pretty intense.
I didn't want to attack the guy right out, but just
Yeah, I get information first.
Yeah.
I mean, just being Hakuto just being suspicious about all this with Oni being involved. It's just that was good.
Yeah. We have 46 people watching the stream right now, which is the most we've ever. So yeah,
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Really, really, really awesome. I will put a link in the chat if you guys want to play with us. Again, we're inviting everybody far and wide to come play D&D on our stream. The stream is growing. We're going to get more and more viewers, and we're going to have more and more fun. Next week, we're going to be streaming every Tuesday at 5:30. So next week is our community stream. And that is going to be a little bit of a listening party, a little bit of trivia on some upcoming anime that our voice actor roster is involved with. Let me get the sorry, change my camera real quick. Okay, so now people on the stream can see the browser, and I think you guys can too. Yeah, okay. Let me pull up some upcoming stuff we have going on, because there is a lot of stuff. So if you go into our website, strawberryhillstudio.online, firstly, for those of you who don't know, the membership lets you get access to our D&D streams for free. So we have a D&D, it's all the same membership, but if you want to learn more about the D&D membership, you can here. Basically, it comes with all the same benefits, but yeah, you can get D&D for free with our membership. You get discounts on all the upcoming workshops, and all of the workshops are recorded, so you can actually watch them all. And these are not just taught by random old people, but these are our roster of professional voice actors. And I'll show you some that we have upcoming. Andrea Toyes is a casting director for Blizzard. She's giving a workshop coming up on video game battle chest voice, which will be really fun. Tiana Camacho, you can see their credits here. She's going to be talking about the voiceover business, how she got in, and tips for getting your foot in the door as well. That's coming up in September. Mark Allen Jr., who was on last week's stream saying hi, is doing his character scene analysis for anime and video games, and the members of course get 30% off of that. Morgan Berry was on last week's stream. She's doing hers coming up real soon this weekend, but I think this one might be sold out, but these ones are not, so go ahead and do know that you can reserve your seats for those. And then if you want to join our D&D streams, you can go to our D&D streams page, and I've got them scheduled out for quite some time. You can join any of the ones upcoming. The next one it will be Gavin. The next one is going to be on August 20th. Again, that's Tuesdays at 5:30. Gavin, who has been playing Orochi tonight, is going to be running his Refuge campaign. And we're super excited about that. He's a great game master. You can register for that as well. We're still filling up seats. Maybe, Gavin, you could share a few words about that.
Sure. So Refuge, it's in my homebrew world. There is a war brewing between practitioners of different gods, and the previous war that was between members of the Caltonian faction, who are worshippers of Kaltos, the god of war, and the followers of Divinius, the diviners, who follow the goddess of justice and peace. She basically lost, and all of her people have kind of become sort of, asylum seekers. And so they've all kind of gathered on this island, kind of a remote island that nobody wanted, to build anew, to rebuild their civilization, their culture. And so as players, you would be adventuring to Refuge. You'd be, first-time newcomers to this island. Think, it's kind of a fantasy Wild West, where it's frontier territory, and people need a lot of help from the newcomers. And you could be there to start fresh. You could be running from something. You could be there to spy for the enemy. But whatever brings you to Refuge, there's going to be trials and tribulations that you find there. It's a harsh climate. There's tons of dangers, monsters, famine, and raiders who are plaguing every shipment that comes in. In our first stream, the new arrivals didn't even make it to the island on the boat that they came in on, because a band of raiders attacked them at sea, and so they've kind of crashed their boat onto some spit of beach and have to make their way to the town proper.
Yep. So that'll be going on next 2 weeks from now, 2 Tuesdays from now, and as we accumulate more players for that stream, we'll be doing our chat campaign as well. Because when you are a Samurais of Sound member, you can join a chat campaign, which means you can play D&D as often as you want. Right now, we've been running the Samurais of Koemin, and people have been practicing their voice acting by posting monologues. I think that's a really great way to keep your voice acting skills up and have some fun. So you can join the Refuge chat campaign as well. Again, I'll take you to that membership one more time. This is free for the first month, so if you don't know, you're not sure, just go ahead and try it out. And come to a D&D session, come to a community stream, and get a discount on one of those workshops. It's a great way to get started. You also get enrolled into our courses for free as well as part of the membership. So if anyone has any questions about that, they can throw them in the chat. And that'll about do it for our D&D stream.
Yeah, it was fun. A lot more. We got to role play a bit more with a bit more story, and I can only assume an encounter. Horizon, but we'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, right. But no, this was good for the characters to just talk to each other, get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Danny, you're not currently in a chat campaign, so just let us know which of the ones, if you'd like to join one, because I know you're a member. So if that's something you're interested in, let us know, and we'll pretty much just pick up where we left off. We do have to get creative as people come in and out, but that's not an obstacle. That's an opportunity. So let us know.
Opportunity be knocking.
Yeah.
Better let a mother in.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. This was really fun. And hopefully we'll see you in the coming weeks.
You know it.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Sayonara.
Sayonara. Take care.